I, 30 male, lost my wife 5 years ago. She had a tween son I got custody of after she passed. Bio father signed off parental rights at birth and never even met the kid. And we had a younger daughter together. My son, I consider him my son, has Down syndrome. My dying mother asked me to come live with me 2 weeks ago to spend more time with us because she's dying and only has months left to live. I told her she could come spend a week here first, she's here now, and we'll see how it works for everyone, most of all the kids. She came and things were going okay. Then, a few days ago, she special ordered a new set of toys for my daughter, a really expensive one, which I let fly even though I don't usually just let my kids choose hundreds of dollars worth of toys, but I get that she was trying to do something nice for her grandkids. Then today, the set arrived just before dinner, and at dinner, I asked my son what toys he chose. He said he didn't choose any toys. I asked my mom what he chose, my son sometimes mixes things up, and I thought he just forgot. And she said that she only bought the toys for her grandbaby. I said that she has 2 grandkids because I have 2 children. Then she said, "He's not your son." I told the kids to go play in the living room and told my mother that this kind of talking is unacceptable in my house. She then said, "It's true, you have no obligation here. You should go foster care or stick it in a facility before your life is ruined." I flipped out, called her all sorts of names and told her I'd be calling hospice first thing in the morning and have them take her the same day, which I did. She cried all night and begged me not to make her go die alone in a hospice, but I said she crossed a line and I am done. My aunts called me an idiot, some of my friends said I should just let it go because her time is limited, and my sister, who lives abroad, said it was just plain cruel. However, my cousin said what she said was awful and I did the right thing. I feel a little bit guilty over it anyway. Am I the idiot? ETA, but I will still visit my mother in hospice if she wants me to. Mom, stick it in a facility. Son, sticks her in a facility. Oh my God, not the idiot. You did exactly that. I stuck Mom in a facility. I can only assume despite her cries, she must approve of her own idea. What she did and said was monstrous. Getting her out of the house and away from a vulnerable child was exactly the right move. It's terrible that she's dying, but she can do lifetime damage to your son in the months she has left. Your son is your son, and she should be ashamed for calling him it. He's a human being and is yours. She missed out on an amazing opportunity because he's probably an amazing little man. Oh, everyone that called you names is ready, willing and able to take her in. I'm guessing the cousin is the only one who lives close enough where they could take her. Cool, problem solved. I know your late wife is proud of you for defending your son. If, after at least 6 years, your mother doesn't see your son as part of the family, then it sounds like she doesn't want to be part of a family. You and your kids have been through enough losing a mom. They don't need a heartless grandmother trying to divide your family with comments and favoritism. She's the reason she's going to be alone, not you and not your children. I'm ignorant of Down syndrome, but in my mind I choose to believe this young man knows his deadbeat bio dad wrote him off and he lost his mother. In my mind, he's extremely proud and grateful to have a father like you that would protect and care for him even when the enemy is your own mother. Congratulations on winning the Father of the Century. Bravo, monsieur. I, female 33, am unemployed, but God knows I've been looking for jobs. I'm a sales rep for over 5 months, right after I recovered from knee surgery. My husband has a high-paying job. First, he suggested I leave my career as a sales rep behind, not up to his wealthy family standards, they'd mocked me for it a lot, and stay home, but I refused because I love my job and want to grow in it. He suggested he finds me a better job since he has connections, but that's not in my field. I've had several job interviews, and my husband has ruined all of them for me, and here's how. He'd walk into the room whenever I have a potential job interview and introduce himself and take over the conversation with the interviewer. He'd tell them about how good I am, but slip in some bad stuff that eventually cost me the job. He argued that he's just making recommendations since he's connections and influence, but I told him to stop and let me handle it. He sulked, saying he was just trying to guide me and whatnot. Several days ago, I'd gotten a job interview, and after getting inside the room and before the interview started, I locked the door. My husband tried to come in and started knocking on the door, asking why I was locking the door and telling me to let him in. I put my headphones on and used noise cancelling, but he kept knocking, telling me to open the door. After the interview was over, I unlocked the door and walked out. He went off on me, calling me disrespectful and awful to lock him out like that. I said I was sorry, I wanted to work for this company so badly and I couldn't let him ruin it for me. He got offended and said that I was being petty and childish and also ungrateful because of the stunt I pulled, and said that he was trying to help me get the best deal out there. I said I was not a child, but he said that yes, I was, especially for how I behaved and for excluding him from my interview. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and you know this isn't about him wanting to help, this is about him trying to control you. Because, seriously, either your husband is so rich he's out of touch with how normal interviews work, or he's intentionally manipulating and sabotaging your interviews. You should be concerned that this isn't the only boundary he isn't afraid of crossing to get his way. This is such a massive red flag that if you don't think he's too rich to understand how normal jobs work, I would be really concerned about how many other ways he sabotages your life. OP, your husband doesn't want you to get a job. I don't know if it's about control or pettiness, but Jesus Christ, he's a grown man and not your dad. Is a helicopter spouse even a thing? Please lock down your birth control so he can't interfere with that, and change all of your passwords, including the bank security questions, so he doesn't try to interfere with your job hunt in other ways. Mum, what he's doing is emotional and mental abuse. You do not need that and do not need him. Run, do not walk away. Run from that relationship if he and his family are like that. He's trying to make sure you don't have an income so that you will be completely reliant on him. It's awful and will probably get worse. He is sabotaging you and you need to not go through him anymore. Save up and get out. He is too likely to get worse. Okay, so I, 26 female, found my now 6-year-old newfie, Bear, sleeping under the stairs of my apartment complex when he was only 3 months old. We thought he was older at the time. My landlord fell in love with him but couldn't care for him, so I offered to take him in while we looked for his family. I searched for a while but couldn't find any missing puppy signs in the area, aka my county and the 5 surrounding counties, that matched his description. My landlord said I could keep him if I wanted, and I'd already fallen in love, so I said yes. Then, recently I posted about him on a newfie Facebook group that I was new to, with a picture of him as a puppy and a recent picture of him, and I shared about how we found him. Then I got a PM from a man that said that he lost a puppy that looked exactly like him 6 years ago. He sent me a picture and a video, and I knew it was Bear right away. He lives in the next state over, about 2.5-hour drive. He says they made posters for him but only put them up in his town, which had less than 800 people. He said he went missing only a month after they adopted him, and after a while they took the posters down and assumed he'd died. He has 2 kids who were little when they lost him but are now in middle and high school. I talked with him for a little bit, and then he said he wanted to arrange a time to meet. I assumed he meant that he wanted to meet Bear and see what he's like now. I said okay, but that I'm pretty busy lately. Then he said he could just come by and pick him up. I immediately freaked out. I didn't realize he wanted the dog back. I replied asking for clarification that he wanted me to give him the dog, and he said yes. I sent him a pretty lengthy reply saying that I was sorry that happened to him, but that I've had him for 6 years. He's attached to me and I doubt he has any memory of them. He got very angry and said he'd already told his kids they were getting him back, and they paid $3,000 for him. I tried to be calm, but he was very agitated. Also, they've gotten 2 dogs since they lost him. I could be the idiot because I refused to give a guy his dog back after it ran away, and he told his kids they were going to get him back. Not the idiot. It's been 6 years. You also live in a completely different state. How did a 3-month-old puppy get across state lines hours away? No. At this point, it would do more harm than good to the dog to take him away from you. You are not the idiot in this situation. The guy is for wanting to disrupt the dog's life. It's not a suitcase. It's a living, breathing animal. This is my question. How the heck did the dog get that far? This man is ridiculous. If he was so concerned about his $3,000 dog, he should have been more careful not to lose him in the first place. I call absolute BS on this man's story. Definitely you are not the idiot, OP. It's been 6 years, not a few months. You did all you could to find his owner. You went above and beyond what most people would do. Best to cut off all contact with him, but you may want to keep a wary eye out in case he tries to steal your dog. Probably the pup got stolen and then either dumped or sold to someone that hated the dog and dumped it too. Or the owners were passing through, lost the dog, and for some bizarre reason didn't actually search the area they last saw him in. Either way, Bear is home. It's where he belongs. OP didn't steal him, and I'm guessing the dog wasn't chipped, so he did his job in trying to find his owners. He needs to stay with OP. Check the laws of your state. More than likely, the statute of limitations has expired. Moreover, they may have spent $3,000 on the dog originally, but you've spent more than that on keeping the dog alive. Send the owner a bill for room and board for 6 years, the cost of food and all the vet's bills, and say you're more than happy to hand over the dog once you've been compensated. I, 19 female, got a job at 15 and started my own college fund because I'd been told by my mom, 45, since I was young that she would not pay for my college for me and that I'm on my own. My mom helped me set up a bank account that I would not have access to until college, and the majority of my paychecks went into it. I wasn't working full-time, so I didn't make bank, but I had a good chunk enough to feel secure. I'd still need some loans, but not nearly as much. A while ago, my mom mentioned a bonus she got at work and told me she was thinking of getting some work done. I supported her because I didn't care what she did to her body. Recently, she got it all done: Botox, fillers, breast augmentation, and like 5 sessions of this body sculpting thing. Yesterday, I heard from a few colleges I got accepted to. My mom got very quiet and admitted to using my money for her plastic surgery. I lost it and I told her I would explore my legal options. I said I wasn't responsible for funding her surgery and that I was moving out within the next week because she violated me and stole from me. She tried to fight it, but I left and went to my friends. My father and extended family keep calling and texting me and saying it's not a big deal. They keep saying I can just take out student loans. My dad said my mom raised me and I live at home rent-free. Not true, live in a reduced rate of rent, not rent-free, so I pretty much owe her. But I think I worked hard to get my money and I should sue my mom if I can. But maybe I'm just being stubborn. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Pursue legal action. She stole from you. I'll never understand families who say, no big deal, just take out a loan. They aren't the ones who will be paying it back. I'm also tired of family members using the whole she's your mom and took care of you as if that gives her the right to take your money. You do not owe her for being born and being taken care of. That's the bare minimum of a parent's responsibility. Exactly. If it's not such a big deal to take a loan, then I guess her parents and relatives can take one in their names to pay back what her mother had stolen, effectively ruining her daughter's future just because she felt the need to have her saggy titties redone. Not the idiot. Your anger is perfectly justified. I mean, I'm fuming just reading it. They used your money without even asking up front. Lawyer up. Fingers crossed for you to get your money back. Not the idiot, but maybe make sure she actually made the account in your name and not in hers, or else she owns that fund. Also, make sure she hasn't ruined your credit by making accounts in your name, or you could be in debt. You'd be surprised how many parents do this to their kids. There are so many things about this that infuriate me. You've been working part-time while juggling school for at least 3 years, and your mother only owned up to her crime, because it is, when you got your college acceptance letters. It is a big deal. Plastic surgery is expensive. You'd be taking on a huge debt that will last way longer than your mother's implants will. You worked hard to give yourself a good start in your adult life, and thanks to her, you're looking at a future burdened by credit issues. I, 31 female, was invited to an event via my friend. Unfortunately, I found out last minute that my friend couldn't come, so I went alone since I was looking forward to seeing the atmosphere and enjoy a bit after working all week. So I arrived at the event a bit late. Not gonna lie, guests were already seated, and there was already someone talking to the mic. I stood there in the corner looking for an empty chair. Suddenly a guy in his 30s, I think, waves for me. I looked closer, thinking he must have had an available chair next to him or something, but then, as I approached him, he proceeded to pat his lap and tell me I could sit there. I was shocked and completely caught off guard. I freaked out from the inside, but remained calm and loudly responded, "No thanks, but my butt is too big for your small lap." Suddenly, people paused and some in the back laughed, which made the guy look red in the face. He mumbled something about just trying to mess with me, crack a joke, and that there was no need for my uncivil, inappropriate comment. I got a chair from a gentleman in the second row and remained seated until the event was over. As I walked out, a couple of ladies approached me, asking about what happened, and told me that my response was too inappropriate for this event and for saying it out loud. That's a bit too far. I tried to cut the conversation, but they told me my behavior was inappropriate and made the whole event look bad and embarrassed for a simple joke attempt at teasing. I don't know, I went home feeling bad about it and guilty. Am I the idiot? Silence plays into the hands of the perpetrator. You weren't inappropriate, the misogynist with the lap was. You were just an agent of cause and effect. Not only are you not the idiot, but you also did the world a service, and my own day is immeasurably better for knowing how you outed that idiot. But the women who came to blame you are huge idiots. It enrages me so much that a woman is even more misogynistic than the stupid man to blame you for doing the right thing. I'm not sure what type of event considers calling over a stranger to invite her to sit on your lap as socially acceptable, but declining the offer is considered poor behavior. Everyone's the idiot here. I think the other people are saying you didn't have to say it loudly enough so that everyone could hear you when someone was speaking on the mic at this event. I get you probably want to embarrass this guy, but I think the person trying to talk to the audience was probably upset, which is why people approached you. Just saying why the other people were probably bothered